Todd here, back with a brand new video. Today, I'm going to talk about my favorite focus settings and when I use each one. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. If you're new, I'm a photographer and filmmaker based in Bangkok, Thailand. I've been shooting photos and video in the region for the past 14 years. So let's hop right in. The autofocus I use most is spot focus. This is where you choose on the camera directly where in the image you want to focus. I would say around 75% of the time I'm using spot focus. The reason why I'm doing that is because I want many elements in my image, and I want to make sure that the camera isn't choosing what element to focus on. For example, if I'm shooting a person that is planting a tree, if I want to make sure I'm focusing on their face, I don't want to focus on the items in the foreground. So I have to tell my camera the area of the image that I want to focus on. So I'm constantly moving around the focal point. There's some positives and negatives to this. The positive is that you have greater control over focusing and being where in the image you want to focus. Now the negative is this takes a bit longer. So it's not as quick sometimes as the camera just choosing and focusing, but then again, who wants a shot that is focused on something that you don't want it focused on? I find this the most effective method of focusing on what I want to focus on. My next favorite focus method is eye detect. Most cameras now have eye detect, and it's remarkable. I find this a very effective method, especially if you're shooting portraits. Now, the positive to this is that you're able to grab focus really quick. You're gonna make sure that their eyes are in focus, and you're gonna have an image that is quickly captured and in focus. Tack sharp. The downsides are sometimes there could be many people in the image, and the camera's focusing on maybe the wrong person or another set of eyes. Now you have an option depending on the camera to move where it focuses, but that sometimes could take time, and so it's not always foolproof. Another issue with this is sometimes if somebody's working with their hands, let's say they're planting a tree in the soil and you want to focus on the hands, every time the person looks up, it's going to immediately focus on their eyes. The focus I use the least is just regular autofocus. The reason why I don't use it so much is because often I find the camera just has its own mind. It's focusing on items and areas of the frame that I just don't want to focus on. But when I do use this is maybe in action sports. The last kind of focus method I use is manual focus. Manual focus is great in many occasions. If you watch the video I did on reflections, you'll notice that often if you want to capture a reflection, you want to make sure that it's focusing on the reflection and not the water. Other times I might use manual focus is if you're doing macro photography. If you have to get really close to an item, manual focus is fantastic for macro photography. Or another time you use manual focus is in really low light. Cameras often find it difficult to do autofocus or eye detect or any type of focus in really low light. So if you have manual focus, you might be able to capture the image quicker. So I hope you enjoyed those tips. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to sharing the next video.